Welcome to the Great British Crochet Off technical version, where I discuss the technical aspects of this week's episode of the Great British Crochet Off, a series where I watch an episode of the Great British Bake Off and crochet something that inspired me from it. This was Pastry Week, and I made this set of pie scrubbies. Let's go back in time and see how we got here. So this is Pastry Week, and I knew pretty straight off the bat that I wanted to make like a literal interpretation of pies. I didn't know exactly what they were going to be, but I knew I wanted it to look like pies, like American style pies, because I love pie, and I also love the aesthetic of pies. And I had so much fun making the little mini pies when I made them for the last Pastry Week. So I wandered around my house and I had a thought about it. I look at my list of like potential projects that I have, and I am going to make pie face scrubbies. So it's going to be a set of like 4, and each one will be a different flavor pie. And the crust of them I'm going to do out of cotton yarn, so it's like actually a good face scrubber, and it's washable and all that. And then I'm gonna do and then the bottom side will be like the face scrubby part, the bottom of the crust. And then the top, that's where I'll have like the decorative part. So they'll still be usable and washable, but they'll also be cute. And then I think I'm gonna make 4 of them. And then I'm gonna make a little like pie dish for them, probably like more like a tart case out to be their holder when they're not being used. Okay, so I went to Joann, and I actually had no good luck finding like a light tan cotton yarn. It's almost like everyone's not crocheting pies or something. So I got jute, which the light in this camera is actually being kinder to it than I think it is in person. It's gonna be a little more homey than I would have liked, a little more rough spun, but that's okay. I do have one of their other colors that I used for a previous crochet off project, but I think this is too late for what I want. I think we're gonna go with jute. So I'm gonna start with making my 3 face scrubbies, or 4 face scrubbies. And then I will turn them into pies after they're all done. And I think I'm gonna try and do each of them with a different stitch. So I'm gonna do like single crochet is a little boring. So I think we'll do half double crochet, we'll do bobble, and then I'll figure out something for the other 2. So let's start with those 2. So I'm going to be working with my 3.75 millimeter one for this. I might not have like the full stitches written down here, but I will cover what I can in case you want to make these too. So I've made my 4 scrubbers. This one is half double crochets. This one is a mix of like single and half double crochets, and then also granny clusters. That's probably the prettiest one. This one I tried to do some like half double crochets, but also on the post, and you can't really tell that I did the post, but it is a pretty texture. And this one I added in some bobble stitches. Obviously I need to weave in all the ends. So next thing I'm going to do is, so obviously this is the bottom of the pie. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a circle out of acrylic yarn. That's the filling. I'm going to make 4 different flavors, because why wouldn't we? So I think I'm gonna go with these 4. I have a light pink, a dark red, this is plum, and this is like a dark purple because I love a berry pie. And these all seem like berry pie colors. And I'm not gonna do any kind of special stitch for this, just because it's gonna be covered up with like a top crust kind of stuff anyways. This is just gonna be peeping through, I imagine, in my head. So yeah, I'm just gonna make 4 circles in the diameter of these circles, and we'll meet back here. So ends are all woven in, and I've paired up every filling with a crust. So now what I'm gonna do is, first thing I'm gonna do is make my little like cute little pie lines for my top crust. I think I'm just gonna do like strips of single crochet and attach it. And then around the edge, I think I'm gonna try and do either a bobble stitch or like granny clusters, just to give a nice little pie crust vibe. I've made all my little strips. I've made 9 of them, 3 on this side and 3 on this side. And I know this is a mess. What we're gonna do is we are going to lay these out. We are going to overlap them with the do pastry, and we are going to tag them in and weave in the ends as I go. It's gonna make sense, I promise. So I've messily pinned them into place. Are we starting to see the vision now? Okay, making big moves here. I sewed and weaved in all the ends for the little pie stripes. And then I made like a pie crust edge. You know what I'm saying? A pie crust edge. I made one. And I actually made 4 different ones. This is the plain half double crochet. And then I made one with a shell stitch, and I made one with a bobble, and I made one with a granny cluster stitch. So I have 4 different ones to use on 4 different pies. So this is just pinned on, which is why it looks a little bit messy. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make the top stripes, the gridding for the other 3 pies and attach those, and then attach the other top crust. And then we need to make our like pie pan, which will be after we finish the pies. So I've attached the lattices to the top of the other pies, and I have to tell you, if you decide to do something like this project, this was very fiddly to do. This took me way longer than I would have ever dreamed or desired. It's effective, and especially will be when I get all the like crusts put on, but this was fiddly because I didn't want them moving around, so I sewed all of them. I pinned all of them in, and then tried not to ruin the beautiful work I did on the bottom when I did that. I don't know. It was very fiddly. But now I'm going to attach the side crusts, and then we will make our pie plate, and then that's going to be all she wrote. So let's do that, because I mean, look, they are cute. Okay, but these are really cute. So they have their bottom crusts for scrubbins, and they have their top crust for cute and for scrubbing. That's why I made the decision to make the top out of cotton as well, so you could also use this as a scrubby pad. So they're both little double-sided scrubbers, or I should say, they're all 4 little double-sided scrubbers. And now I'm going to use this gray yarn to make a really simple little dish for them. I'm just going to make a circle a little bit larger than these are. And then I'm just going to do a strip of ribbing to sew onto the side, so it looks kind of like a tart shell. So I've made our little pie pan. This is just a circle on the bottom, and this is a piece of crocheted ribbing that I just sewed to the edge, so you get your kind of fluted tart pan thing going on. And then your face scrubbies go inside, and then you've got like a cute little pie. I will say this was way more fiddly than I thought it was going to be before I started it. I'm very happy with it now that it's done. But just keep in mind, if you want to make something similar, that it's going to take way longer than you ever imagined. But look, you can put different pies on the top to get a different like color aesthetic.